Before I get started, I do consulting on where you can move. I'll work with you to find the perfect place for you to move to. There's more information at the end of the video about that. Now let's get started. Yes, that's a bald eagle. A real American bald eagle. Only 5 feet away. I'd see a lot more than that bald eagle on this day. A lot more. So this is company Ad Motor. They sent me an email and they were like, would you do a video on our e-bike if we send you one? I was like, yes. 2 weeks later, it arrived in a big box on my actual birthday, I have to say. Let me tell you, this thing is badass. I love this damn bike. It's actually a bicycle, but it has electric power. You've probably seen them around town. You can pedal it or don't. I don't ever. It was supposed to go 20 miles an hour, but I tweaked it and now it goes 25. I take it to the store and the local bar. It's actually pretty amazing. But the deal was I had to make a video about it. But what would I do? Well, I think I read somewhere that this e-bike can go 30 miles on a single charge. I also think I remember hearing once that Carolina Beach Island is 30 miles in a circle. So, can I take this thing around the entire Pleasure Island? I'm gonna try. Here's my route. I cut corners, planning to make out a journey that would be exactly 22 miles long. I should be able to make it, right? We'll see. So I'm about to get on this bike right now and see how it goes. Here I am crossing the bridge. So my first stop was going to be the Carolina Beach State Park, but I saw an interesting bait shop on the way, and I decided to go in. It's called B&B Bait and Tackle. That's Buddy. I think he's one of the bees. Inside, it's a normal, awesome mom and pop bait shop. You know it's a good, fresh bait shop when the sign's a whiteboard, just like that. Buddy showed me a lot of things, but it was his collection of rare Civil War artifacts that intrigued me the most. He's scoured this island for decades now and has coins and pins and bullets from the Civil War. I purchased several bullets, but he says some of these were shot and some were dropped. These two are Confederate bullets, and these two are Union bullets. That was cool. And Buddy has sand flea rakes, too. Don't forget. So my next stop was the Carolina Beach State Park, about 1.4 miles away. I wanted to look for a Venus flytrap. They only grow in one small area in the whole world, and supposedly there's some in this state park. Now, if you remember from another video, I tried to find one of these elusive species, but all I actually found were big spiders. I guess people actually poach these little fly traps from the swamps and take them home. That's illegal. Well, fast forward to today, and I pretty much had the same thing happen. I had no idea where to look, and this park is like 800 acres big. All right, I'm tired of looking. This is the second time. So I stopped in the office to ask them where the best spot would be to look for them. The ranger gave me this whole long-winded story. Take this trail and cross this bridge, and it sounded way too hard. So I just went out back and found some that they have growing in a garden. They actually have little Venus flytraps and planters all over the ranger station. So that counts, I guess. They also have some in a little cage inside. I guess this is what they look like when they're little baby Venus flytraps. As I left the state park, I wondered, how many other species haven't we discovered right in plain sight? Okay, so the first or second stop is now successfully completed. And look at that. The battery hasn't moved at all. Nice. My next stop was the Good Hops Brewery. It's about a quarter mile away from the state park. Here I am pulling in. This is the only actual action footage of me on this entire trip. So enjoy it. There it is. That's me. Good Hops has this really neat disc golf course on the property. I play it all the time. I could probably beat just about everybody here, but I don't like waiting in long lines to play in their groups. See how good I am? Okay, so the next stop is Security Beach Pier. The way there is this 3.6 mile long stretch where there's really nothing but pine trees. It can be really desolate in some parts of this island, I'll tell you that. Just a narrow 2-lane road between me and the ocean. All right, we made it to Curie Beach. Only took about 7 minutes on that long stretch. Let's go find out what's going on at Curie Beach. And I don't think I've used any battery power yet. I could probably get all the way to dang Charlotte. I'm not kidding. There's all sorts of stuff to do at the Curie Beach Pier. This is the beginning of fall, so there aren't a lot of people here right now. It's actually a really neat place. I highly recommend it. Yes, that's an arcade. I'll come back to that later. I mean, we have to go to the pier, right? Of course I locked my bike up. I always do. It's a habit from when I grew up in a part of town where people actually stole bikes. It was sad. It was terrible. I had many bikes stolen. It was a busy day down at Curie Beach. It didn't really look like there were a lot of people that were inside, but everybody was at the damn pier. It's good to see so many people outside enjoying nature. I bet a lot of these people hope they catch a fish. I hope they do too. This guy didn't catch anything yet. This guy didn't either. He looks bored or maybe totally happy. It's hard to tell. I think this person just gave up. This guy caught something. Good for you, little guy. Hey, look, she caught a fish. She asked me what kind of fish it was. I was like, I'm the worst fisherman in town. I have no idea what kind of fish that is, lady. She was proud of it, though. It sure was windy out there. Look at those waves. There's a Category 4 hurricane about 300 miles offshore on this day, just off the coast of Bermuda. And we're getting some of that wind all the way here. This pier was built in 1946, but it had to be rebuilt a bunch of times because of hurricanes over the years. One day, this pier I'm on now will have to be fixed up all over again. No doubt, some other storm's going to come in and they're going to have to rebuild this thing. But for now, she's pretty sturdy. So there's this amazing dive bar at Curie Beach. It's called Bud and Joe's. When COVID hit, this place was shut down, and it's really hardly ever open anymore. I was hoping it would be open today, since it was a nice Friday afternoon and all. Oh man, always closed. Okay, so I'll settle for the arcade, or the high-tech arcade. I can't say that I'm completely happy with this arcade. There really aren't a lot of video games in here, just a bunch of win ticket games. But the carpet here is really neat. They do have one arcade in here, and it's a good one. Galaga, people. Oh, yeah. You recognize that sound? Okay, so it's really hard to record and play at the same time, so I put the phone down. That's my score. I made it to stage 21. I had never made it to stage 21 before, but I had to keep putting a lot of tokens in to get there. I also tried to play Miss Pac-Man, but I don't have the patience for that. So that's 3 stops down. Neat. And check out the battery. It hasn't even moved. My next stop is Fort Fisher, which is about 2 miles away. And by the way, excuse the jumpy camera. It's really hard to drive with one hand and film with the other. Just as I entered Fort Fisher, I spotted a dog in mid-poop. This place has all kinds of history. It was a Confederate fort during the Civil War. There's tanks and helicopters here. Today, it's used as a training center. Go America! We'll blow your shit up. There's a new restaurant inside of here called the Riverside Restaurant. I wanted to take my first break here, but they were closed. What do I gotta do to get a damn beer? Anyways, Fort Fisher was stop number 4, and that stop was completed. Next up was the North Carolina Aquarium at Fort Fisher.
Riding my bicycle, riding my bicycle, riding my bicycle down the street. Riding my bicycle, riding my bicycle, riding my bicycle with my feet.
Well, I made it to the aquarium. Let's go inside and see what's inside all of those fish tanks. Here's what I saw. A lobster, a green turtle named Sheldon, a seahorse, a baby turtle, whatever this is. There's something in there. A ton of jellyfish. Yes, they sting. A guy cleaning the tank. Some seahorses they had in a tank so they would make babies. Some baby seahorses that were just born yesterday. You should Google that to see how that happens. That's crazy. Some jellyfish that were just born. A fish that swims upside down. Some rare fish I can't remember the name of. Some other fish I don't remember its name. A hammerhead shark. A shrimp. A puffer fish. A tiger shark. A hermit crab that was walking back and forth looking for a friend, but he was the only one in there. We all felt bad for him. Just all by himself. Poor little guy. All right, I guess I'll go over here and say hello. I saw some stingrays. I saw 2 alligators. Actually, this is the male. I couldn't tell if he was even alive. He just sort of sat there all day. That's the female. I was told that she's an albino alligator, very rare, and she would die in the real world because she's not camouflaged. Oh, so she's in here and she gets to clearly enjoy her life. She looks very happy, a very peaceful grin. I saw these fish. I actually got to touch them. This horseshoe crab, he was on his back the whole time, just waiting for people to come by and tickle his belly. I saw a frog. I saw a really scary eel. I watched the adult otters sleep. I watched the little kid otters wrestle around. I saw a duck. I saw a snake. And I saw an eagle. This is Maverick. He got hit by a car and he can't fly anymore. So the aquarium adopted him. Apparently they're looking for a female mate. But we all wondered, would she have to be crippled too? There's no roof on this enclosure. She could just leave him whenever she wanted. Maverick deserves better than that, right? Anyway, so that was neat. Stop number 5 in the bag. And just outside of the aquarium, there's a really nice view. There's really no bad view anywhere on this island. It's actually pretty amazing. So my next stop is going to be back in Carolina Beach at the Tiki Bar. To get from the aquarium to the Tiki Bar, it's about 5 miles. So it was about at this point that I realized this battery wasn't going to last long. Not the bike battery, that was fine. My phone was starting to get low. I didn't think the bike would last longer than the phone. No, the bike was fine. I was hitting some pretty good speeds and the battery didn't even go down at all. I was passing cars and you can believe I didn't pedal one time. Why pedal? Why does this thing even have gears? This bike's amazing, I tell ya. Okay, so I came up on the Tiki Bar. It's actually not called that, but that's what everybody calls it. The hotel is called the Golden Sands, and there's a bar behind it. It's Friday, and everyone's out here, I'll tell you that. There's no bad view here, fella. Look at this view these people get to have. Lucky on Friday. Don't you wish you were out there on that Tiki Bar on a Friday? This was my view, and this was my first beer. Okay, so one more stop off the list. So at this point, it was clear I wasn't going to run out of battery. I only had a few more stops left, and the battery was not even halfway drained yet. I couldn't even tell, but it looked like it had really not gone down at all. So I went up north to the Carolina Beach Boardwalk. I had to see that. It was about a mile up the road. I passed Granny's on the way up there. For some reason, Granny was closed today. Granny's ain't open neither. Usually you can get breakfast all day long. What the heck? I was all excited about riding the Ferris wheel at the Carolina Beach Boardwalk, but it was closed too. What the hell, Carolina Beach Island? Everything's damn closed today. And it's Friday afternoon. It's 80 degrees. Come on now. Man, nothing's open. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. And nothing is open. That is just sad. What a waste of a boardwalk carnival. So I couldn't ride any rides, so I went to the Silver Dollar, another bar I like. Man, look at that awesome bike over there. Whose bike is that? And look at that beer. And look at that Ferris wheel. And look at that awesome dragon horse warrior god thing. That's what I would ride if it were open. The rest of the afternoon was a lot of the same. I went all over the place trying to run the battery down. The only batteries running down were mine and my phone's. I went to the North Tiki Bar. Yes, there's 2 Tiki Bars on this island. I know. It's amazing here. The beer here was $6.89. The one at the other Tiki Bar was $5. Just saying. Both of them were Pacificos. I prefer the cheaper can version myself. I went to Island Burger. Now let me tell you, for $10, you get the best burger you've ever had. I'm not kidding. The thing's amazing and cooked right in front of you. They need more of these here. I ate the thing at the Last Resort, another one of this island's truly great dive bars. Look at the battery level. I don't think it went down a bit. It's like a Magic Forever battery or something. Or maybe it's just because it's so big. When you look at it from this angle, the thing's huge. Towards the end of the day, I was driving all around, passing people. They had to pedal, and I didn't, if I didn't want to. And before I was done, I had to make one more quick stop. I had to make dinner, so I dropped by Publix. No need to lock your bike up at Publix. Publix shoppers don't steal bikes. It was time to end the trip. I covered a lot more ground than I thought I would. I mean, I could have done it all over again if I wanted to. That battery was still full of juice. But time to go home and make supper. As I was getting ready to set up the last shot of me putting the bike in the truck, you know what happened? My phone died. Are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. You can get my email in the description to find out how I can help you find your perfect relocation. And I can also help you find your new house too. Email me and I'll work with you on not just helping you figure out where to move, but I can help you find your perfect home too. That's right. I know awesome, reliable agents all over the country, and I'd love to connect you to somebody who can help you search for that perfect home. Hey guys, if you learned something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great. You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more. You can also now buy my songs on iTunes and other formats. Click the link in the description. Thanks for watching. And remember, while we all might have different views, we should all be nice to each other and try to make the U.S. a better place in a positive way.
This is Sage, Nick's manager. This has been a Corner House Entertainment production.